countries of the world. Today I'm going to be your main host, Jay.
Meu nome é Gurneev.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that my name is Gurneev in the language of Portuguese.
Portuguese? Is there something going on that I don't know about?
Well, Jay, in fact there is. In the country of Brazil, the main language spoken there is Portuguese, and in fact they're celebrating their 189th anniversary.
So today we're going to be covering Brazil's history, geography, economy, culture, and tourism. And first we're going to be giving it over to Gurneev, who's going to be talking about Brazil's history.
Well, thank you, Jay. The land now called Brazil was claimed by Pedro Álvares Cabral in the early 1500s. Colonization began in 1534 when Dom João III divided the land into 12 territories. This proved problematic, and the king assigned a governor-general to rule over the land. Some Native American tribes joined the Portuguese, while others were killed or they died of diseases brought by Europeans.
That sounds crazy. I mean, why would they kill all of the Native Americans like that? That's just like cruel and inhumane treatment, and like, that's just very mean.
Well, Jay, it is a very sad topic, but the past is the past.
We can't change that now.
Yeah. Well, let's change the topic. The colonial bond was in fact broken in 1808 when the capital of the Portuguese kingdom was moved to Rio de Janeiro after Napoleon invaded Portugal. In 1815, Dom João VI, the leader, elevated Brazil from a colony to the United Kingdom united with Portugal.
Dude, that means that they became like an independent nation?
They did,
That's
Jay.
cool.
In fact, they did. But King João VI returned to Europe on April 26, 1821, leaving his elder son in charge. And the Portuguese government attempted to turn Brazil into a colony, but the Brazilians rebelled and they took independence from Portugal in 1821. And in 1822, Prince Pedro, the son of King João, was claimed an emperor, and in December the 1st of 1822, he was crowned.
So is that when basically Brazil became its own colony?
That is, Jay. In fact, it is. That is when Brazil became its own colony.
So that was when the first year started, and now it's the 189th year?
That, exactly, Jay. You're
I
on top
get
of
it
it.
now,
You're on top of it. Okay, well, let's talk about another fact. That's part of my history segment, but let's pass on to Jay, who will talk about the geography of Brazil.
Okay, thank you, Gurneev. Okay, so first I'm going to be talking about the exact location of Brazil. And its exact location is 10 degrees south latitude and 55 degrees west longitude. Now, its relative location is that it's relatively south of the equator, and it's in South America, and it's bordering every single country in South America except for Ecuador and Chile. And it's actually the 5th largest country in the world, so as you can imagine, it's really big, and it's like the biggest country in South America.
That's very interesting, Jay. Can you tell us some more facts about the geography of Brazil?
Of course, Gurneev. Okay, so there are many mountains in Brazil, such as the Andes Mountains, the Serra do Mar Range, the Serra do Espinhaço Range, the Pacaraima Range, and lastly, but not the least, the Imeri Mountain Range. Now, Brazil also has a vast central plateau, and Brazil also has a lot of waterways, and it also has one of the world's largest river, which is the Amazon River. And the Amazon River is one of the most important rivers in the world, and it also has one of the largest basins because of the Amazon River, which is actually the Amazon Basin. Now, Brazil has such a big population that it needs a lot of farming to support itself. Due to the large population, a lot of soil is needed to support it. Now, the largest areas of fertile soil, called terra roxa, are found in the states of Paraná and São Paulo. And the least fertile areas of soil are actually found in the Amazon, which is kind of funny because in the Amazon, all the poor farmers, they just cut down the Amazon for the soil to farm on. But then that's the least fertile soil, which is kind of a waste of the Amazon's trees. Now, I'm also going to be talking about the climate of Brazil. Now, although 90% of the country is within the equatorial zone, the climate of Brazil varies considerably. Now, since Brazil is such a big country, Brazil has 5 climate regions, which are equatorial, tropical, semi-arid, highland tropical, and subtropical. Now, temperatures along the equator are very high, averaging about 25 degrees Celsius. There is little seasonal variation along the equator, But however, there are frosts south of the Tropic of Capricorn during the winter. Now this means the temperatures in the cities of Sao Paulo, Belo Horizonte, and Brasilia are moderate. Precipitation levels also vary widely due to the large country. Most of Brazil has moderate rainfall of between 1,500 and 1,000 millimeters each year, but some parts, such as the Amazon, have a lot more, and other parts, such as the desert, have less. Now, we're going to be handing it over to Josh, who's going to be talking about the tourism in Brazil.
Thanks, guys. So here we have Brazil, a very famous tourist attraction in Latin America. Some of these tourist locations are Christ the Redeemer, the Botanical Gardens, Copacabana Beach, and the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. And here's a quick look at them. Christ the Redeemer stands 38 meters tall atop the Corcovado Mountain overlooking Rio de Janeiro. Representing the faith of the Brazilian people, Christ the Redeemer is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Considered to be one of the most famous beaches in the world, the Copacabana Beach spans 5.15 kilometers long. It was nicknamed Little Princess of the Sea by the people of Brazil. It is a true tourist attraction with trails, hotels, bars, restaurants, and even military fortresses that are open to the public, and it is considered to be one of the most beautiful and preserved areas in the city. The Botanical Gardens in Cabrita are also a very famous tourist attraction. It is located in Parana, the biggest city in Brazil, and houses part of the campus of the Federal University of Parana, and its main greenhouse takes up 458 square meters of land. The Carnival in Rio de Janeiro takes place 40 days before Easter and lasts for 4 days. It officially starts on a Saturday and ends on what they call Fat Tuesday. It usually occurs during the month of February, which is the hottest month of the year over in Rio, and it is the biggest and most famous carnival in all of Brazil.
Thank you, Josh. Now, I'm going to be handing it over to Gurneep, who's going to be talking about famous Brazilian people, places, and events.
Thank you, Jay. Brazil gets a lot of money from tourists who come to see Christ the Redeemer, Rio de Janeiro, and Sao Paulo. Christ the Redeemer is one of the 7 wonders of this world. The Rio de Janeiro holds the spectacular Carnival, and Sao Paulo is the largest, richest, and most populated city in Brazil. Also, this year, the first female president was elected.
Really? Does that mean that Brazil is more advanced than us?
Yes, Jay, you're correct. But however, Brazil is also behind us in terms that Brazil had to abolish slavery in 1888, and which was after ours. Also, Brazil became a republic in 1889.
I did not know that. That's really cool. So that means Brazil is behind us in some things and it's ahead of the United States in other things, right?
Correct, Jay, correct. Some of the famous people of Brazil are Edson Arantes do Nascimento, or commonly called Pelé.
He was an amazing Brazilian soccer player, right?
In fact, he was, Jay. Also, I heard the name Ronaldinho.
Of course, I love soccer.
Yeah, he's a brilliant, excellent soccer player. Also, Carmen Miranda was a famous singer and actress during her time. Helder Perosa Camara was an Archbishop of Olinda and Recife. He also was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Really? That means he was a religious leader and he won a Nobel Peace Prize? I've never really heard of that happening.
Yeah, Jay. Also, Humberto de Alencar Castelo Branco was a military officer and politician. He became colonel during World War II, and he would later become the 29th president. Now I'm going to hand it over to Jay, who will be talking about culture.
Thank you, Grenade. Now, Brazil is known for soccer, the carnival, and its beautiful beaches. Brazil has a national food, which is feijoada, which is basically black beans that are cooked with pork and many other elements. Now, because Brazil is such a large country, there are many different variations of this throughout, but that is the national dish. Now, food varies greatly region by region, but however, rice and beans are considered a staple food in Brazil because they supply all of the proteins and amino acids necessary for a healthy diet. Now, Brazil, being so large again, Brazil has a lot of music as well. Now, it uses classical European instruments for playing its music. Classical European instruments are like the piano, the guitar, so on and so forth. And examples of music that are played are forró in the northeast, and freiro also in the northeast. And Brazilian rock is very popular throughout the whole country, and lambada is also very popular. Now, Brazil also has dance, And Brazil has many types of dances because again it's so large, but some of the popular ones are the samba and the capoeira. Now Brazil also has clothing that traditional type of clothing. Now in the countryside, traditionally men wear shirts, jeans, and dresses that are made from inexpensive cloth so that they can actually afford to farm. Now cowboys, which are called gauchos, wear baggy trousers, ponchos, and wide straw hats and also boots because they're cowboys. And vaqueros, who are another name for cowboy, they wear different stuff. They wear coats, hats, and leather chaps. Now, women in the countryside wear baiana dress, which is basically a long round skirt that goes down to the ankles. So it's basically like a really big long skirt. And they also wear a white turban. Now, most Brazilians are Roman Catholic, so that's their religion, and their national sport is soccer. Now, everyone knows about soccer being Brazilians, being Brazil's like best thing. They're 5-time world champions in the FIFA World Cup, and they also play many other sports, but soccer is their main sport. Since Brazil is such a large country, it has many different types of vegetation as well. In the northeast, caatinga, which is a dry, thick, thorny vegetable, grows. In the central Brazil, there's a lot of woodland savannas which are called cerrado. In the south, needle-leaf pine woods grow, and in the south's sea-level plains, grassland similar to Argentinian pampa predominates. Mato Grosso swamplands also grow in the central western portion of Brazil.
Now, I'm going to hand it over to Josh, who will be talking about the economy.
Now, Brazil's GDP, or gross domestic product, is $2.09 trillion. Their main industries are machine building, apparel, transportation equipment, and telecommunications equipment. Their main exports are transport equipment, machinery, steel, iron, soybeans, coffee, and automotive parts. They import a lot of things relating to their exports, such as electrical and transport equipment, chemical products, oil, automotive parts, and electronics. Brazil is the second biggest industrialized sector in the Americas, and mining is a large part of it. Brazil has an extensive amount of mineral resources, such as large iron and manganese reserves, and the money they make per year equals out to about less than half of the money we make per year.